Hello, this is Bryn Afton, and we're here on episode 2 of Life After High School. Today we're talking to Aidan Hoffman, who has a bit different approach to his life after high school. So Aidan, where are you going to school and what is your major?
I am currently going to school at New York University in London, and I am in a liberal studies core program, but I am officially undecided.
Could you tell me a little bit more about their foreign programs?
Okay, so New York University has this core program that I'm in has a special situation where freshmen get to spend their first year abroad. And from this program, I get to transfer into basically any college in New York University. But if I were to stay here, I could go back to a different foreign place, like a different study away place. We in London, I just sit sort of. We have dorms and academic center where we have all our classes, but otherwise it's somewhat. I'm assuming. I mean, I've never experienced a different college setting, but it seems somewhat like a regular college setting.
How are your classes conducted?
Most of my classes are small classes, about 12, probably 12 to 25 people. I have one class for 3 hours every day from Monday through Thursday, which is great because that gives me Thursday afternoon to Monday afternoon. So that's almost probably around 4 days of weekend time that I can, if I need to work on schoolwork, but mostly I can travel and get to experience things around London that I wouldn't get to do.
What are your favorite and least favorite classes?
My favorite class is it's called Social Foundations. It's one of the required courses in this program, and it is basically a political philosophy class. And through it, I've been able to read some it's kind of cheesy to say, but like eye-opening works like Plato's Republic and the Nicomachean Ethics and all sorts of things that you wouldn't, or not you wouldn't, but I wouldn't read necessarily otherwise. And we debate a bunch of things that are going around or things that are happening in society, and it's very, very interesting to think about. It really makes you question how you feel about things. My least favorite class is probably my writing course, but not because it's a bad class. I like my professor a lot. The class was fun, but it felt very much like a repeat of things that I'd done before in high school, and because of that, it's not as interesting as the other ones.
What was the biggest challenge and surprise in your first semester? Was there anything that you weren't prepared for?
Actually, the biggest challenge and surprise was probably getting used to living on my own. Even though being in London was a change, it wasn't like it's not a huge culture shock. So I didn't have to worry too much about how that was changing. But it's little things like I found it surprising or wasn't expecting having to make sure you buy your own, buy groceries every day or at least a couple times a week, having to buy little things that you don't notice, my roommates and I had a standoff where no one would buy toilet paper for a little while because we were sharing those things, but no one was buying it, so it's a little surprising.
If there was anything you would suggest to change at BHS so that future incoming freshmen were better prepared for the college experience?
I wouldn't necessarily say there's anything that needs to change. There is I thought my college experience actually ended up seeming to be slightly easier than my high school experience because the college experience you have a week to do all of your classwork, and most of the time it's just reading, and then there's not really exams or tests. I mean, there were final exams, but most of my finals and all of my basically examination things were essays that we had to write, which I had done a lot of in high school, so I don't know that there's anything that needs to change necessarily. Just be prepared for that.
Could you talk a little bit about your social or extracurricular activities you've been involved in?
Because I'm in London, I have not had the chance to get involved in a lot of the sort of regular extracurricular activities that people are often a part of, or the ones that I was a part of in high school, because NYU doesn't have them. I could participate in them through the student union at a different university. However, I instead have been participating in a thing called Global Orientations, where NYU gives us, each student, basically 100 credits. And with these credits, we can spend them to go on events that NYU pays for. So, for example, I went on the studio tour of Harry Potter, the Warner Brothers studio tour, for 20 credits. And so I just spent those and was able to do. Similarly, I went to Buckingham Palace and then rode the London Eye. And I got to do those things for free through NYU, because they really want to focus on those types of opportunities for this year rather than the basic things that you could do when you weren't in London.
How is your dorm life? Is there anything you can tell future incoming college students about your dorm life experience?
So similarly to how I said earlier, be prepared for missing the little things like a dishwasher or your parents helping you with your laundry or cooking you dinner, because it's definitely a change. But I would also say that in the first sort of 2 weeks that you're there, it seems sort of awkward, like you don't know these people at all and you're living with them. And if I were to give people advice, it would probably be to just wait it out, even though it might seem like it's rough and you don't know these people and it's kind of sad because you're not at home anymore and it's a big change. You will end up getting closer with your roommates, and it ends up being a much better experience.
How have you managed your finances so far? Do you have a job?
I don't have a job in London because there are, for multiple reasons. Firstly, I wouldn't be able to work very much because my student visa it has a maximum number of hours I'm allowed to work because I'm not a UK citizen. However, I choose not to have a job because I feel that it would, because I have class for 3 hours every day and I'm only allowed to work a certain amount, I would probably have to work on weekends, and that would cut into the time that I would be able to travel and enjoy the experience I have over there. So for the past few summers, I've been working and saving money, and I've been able to get by so far on what I have saved. So let's hope that holds out.
What are some of the good points and disadvantages of freedom and independence?
The advantages are exactly that you have your own independence and you can do basically whatever you need to still do things that you are intelligent, but you have the freedom to make your own choices, which is really nice. There was one time I randomly found out my favorite band was playing in like an hour, so I got on a bus and went and stood outside and ended up buying tickets, and I just was able to do that on a whim because I have the independence to do so. However, I also have the disadvantages are obviously you have to work on learning to live on your own, and that can be scary, but it'll be okay.
Thank you for talking to us today, Aidan.
Thanks for having me.